So welcome to the South Florida Mortgage Report. It's Billy May, your hat-to-wearing mortgage guy, always joined with Craig A. Garcia, president of Capital Partners Mortgage. And we have a special guest here this morning, Tom Kiddy from Southwest Florida, from the other coast. So Tom's a seasoned Southwest Florida agent, been in the business for about 13 years, born and raised, native. He's a Fort Myers Beach guy, and he closes all kinds of transactions, big or small. He does them all. And we really enjoy a guest on, and also another native Floridian like Craig and I, actually. So, Tom, welcome.
Yeah, we're a dying breed, the native Floridians, that's for sure. Even in the real estate community, it's really hard to find a realtor that's actually born and raised here because there was nothing here 100 years ago, and we've just grown so much, and everyone's kind of found their paradise here and that kind of thing. So it's a great place to live.
So many transplants, but when you run certain circles, when you're here for long enough, you find there's quite a few of us, not as many as, it's a small percentage, but
keeps things interesting. I mean, it's always great for conversation. I love talking to people from all different parts of the country and really the world that all vacation here and have second homes and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel the same way. And so this morning, really what we want to talk about today is, number one, I want to introduce you. You're a Southwest or the other coast. You're an interesting guy, and you have a cool social media presence. But first, we want to talk about what the market conditions are going on. What's going on over there on the West Coast and the beach and everything. And it's been kind of topsy-turvy for the past few years. It's been a wild ride, right?
Yeah, so you guys are going through some of the same stuff we are with the condos and the interest rates and stuff. Here, especially on the Gulf Coast, in my market, and really from Tampa all the way down, the faucet kind of turned off in about May of 2022, and then in September of 22, we had that Hurricane Ian. So we had a Cat 5 worst case scenario storm hit our area. Really, it's an area that has not been hit a whole lot of times. I mean, we went from 1960 to 2004 with zero storms directly hitting our area.
That's right.
So you had Ian in 22, we had nothing in 23, and then we had Helene and Milton in 2024, which is not that long ago. So to see where we've come since then is absolutely unbelievable. But it's also brought a lot of hurt to our community, a lot of rebuilding going on, a lot of refreshing places that got flooded out. There's a lot of commercial development going on. I mean, in Cape Coral on Fort Myers Beach, there's quite a few projects that have been announced. The town of Fort Myers, Estero, Naples, everywhere is growing right now. There's a lot of developers developing places, a lot of high rises down in Naples and beachfront stuff happening. I think we're kind of like in a recharging cycle here now after we had that big run up during the COVID years. Now it's been a little flat since then, and it's come down. So it's a great opportunity to buy over here in Southwest Florida right now, because you got to see what's coming in 3, 4, 5 years from now. And I think we're really gearing up and recharging for a big upswing here over the next 3 to 7 years, basically, once we kind of work our way out of this cycle. The absorption rate is a big thing that I look at in our market. I don't always look at like the median sale price and stuff, because we've had such a small sample size that can on a monthly basis be all over the place. Really look at the absorption rate a lot. During COVID, it was 110% of the inventory was being bought up. So basically every listing was selling, and then a few were selling off market. And now we come to 2025 and 2026. And really since about 24, the Fort Myers Beach market absorption rate has been around 3 to 6%. So healthy markets around 15% or above. So that's really the stat I watch here. And, it really is a buyer's market still throughout most of the area. Now there are pockets that are doing better than others. Some really haven't come down at all. But overall, the market has come down, and I think buyers understand that, and they're looking at us over here. They're looking at the affordability. We do have a lot of people moving from the East Coast and from within the state right now.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Like, where are these buyers? Where do you see most of these buyers coming from?
Yeah, so according to Redfin, your biggest inflow to our area is from Miami's #1 and Orlando's #6. And in between that is your typical Midwest Chicago. Chicago's a big feeder market. I mean, if you walk down the street, most people are from Illinois or Chicago, Michigan, Minnesota, the Midwest markets, and we get people from the Northeast too, but we've always been a big time Midwestern second home market.
Yeah, they say that on our side of the coast, everybody just has come down 95. So you get everybody from the Northeast has come down here, And then on the West Coast, everybody comes down from 75, and that's where you get all the, the Midwestern folks. And that's that migration follows 75.
Big difference between the coast, as you know, I love both coasts, but obviously that's the East Coast is a lot busier,
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
more going on, a lot more traffic. I mean, we complain about traffic here too. I mean, everybody in Florida is going to complain about traffic 6 months out of the year. It's just always going to be that way, no matter what.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think people are seeing the affordability over here. You know, you probably get a lot more of like the bigger city people, like the New Yorkers and kind of people used to that big city feel. They kind of need the things to be bustling to feel comfortable. So there, a lot of them are in Tampa or over there on the East Coast where you guys are at. But yeah, I mean, we're still getting buyers from all over the place. But, we really are feeling the East Coasters coming over here. I mean, in fact, I just sold a lot on Fort Myers Beach, and they live about 15 minutes from the Miami-Dade airport, and they're going to be building a vacation home over here that they're going to rent out. But their plan is, 7-10 years down the road that they're going to move over here full time, and that's going to be their home. And until then, they're going to be collecting rental income, and they're going to be coming over here during the summertime when it's quiet, and just enjoying our beaches and our restaurants and all that good stuff. So
Yeah, one of the things that Craig and I we talk about a lot because of our market here in Broward and Dade is that the affordability, and there's no new land really. You have to go to really southern part of Dade or maybe western part of Palm Beach County. Even that, those homes are they're really, I mean, the average home is still $550,000-$600,000. And I think the cool thing about your market is, like you said, the affordability factor. You could, what would be the entry level point for a standard, let's say, 1,700 square foot 3-2 home in an area? If a first home buyer was buying in that area, like how much would they have to? What would that starting point, entry point be, sales price wise? Just kind of curious.
probably right around 300, 400, maybe a little less. And
Wow.
I'm not talking about an existing home. I'm talking about a
Right.
brand new constructed house.
Right.
So depending on the builder and the quality materials and stuff like that, you're going to be right around that 300 or 400 thousand for a new construction home, and you're in a good location too. Not just like away from everything else. You're right in the middle of everything.
Wow. And you see, you'd mentioned about buyers from the Southeast Florida. You see a lot of those people coming over buying vacation rental properties. Are you doing a lot of those types of buyers?
Yeah, so the type of buyers you're getting the ones that they're still on the East Coast, but they want somewhere to vacation to or come to on the weekend. And then you're also getting the people that are like, hey, look, let's make the move to Southwest Florida because it's a little bit slower pace of life. It's more affordable. We got the sunsets over here too. You guys don't really have the sunsets over there on the.
Oh yeah,
on
the
the
Naples
so-
Pier. That's like classic. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we've got some of the best sunsets in the world and all that good stuff that people like. And we've got Fort Myers Beach just did their beach renourishment. So we've got plenty of sand on the beach. It's a 7-mile island, and it's really made a big difference because last year we had a black pipe with the dredging going on. It was on the whole beach.
Oh, wow.
Throughout the whole beach, so it wasn't really appetizing for photos and stuff like that. And now that's gone. So we're really making moves forward here, not only on Fort Myers Beach, but everywhere. And it's just going to take a little bit more time to rebuild. But you want to get in now. You want to get in now rather than 5 years. Things are going to be going up a lot more than they are now, and you're not going to have that entry level pricing that you did.
So Fort Myers Beach. Let me ask you. You talked about it. I know you're kind of a specialist of Fort Myers Beach. Has that? It's all kind of cleaned up and it aesthetically pleasing, and that market, is that flattened out, or is there still some depreciation, or are you signing some depreciation?
I'd have to say that I don't know. I think the data is still telling us that there could be a little bit more depreciation here. Things are cleaned up for the most part, but you're still. I'm sitting at a house now where I can see the beach actually, but there's pilings of an old home coming out of the ground on one of these beach row homes. So you still see a lot of that. You see a lot of lots that are kind of overgrown and stuff like that. But you also see a lot of fenced off places. We've had 6 or 7 pretty good approvals happen on development with hotels and things like that. It's just a matter of getting the financing right and actually getting the shovels in the ground, which has seemed to be a struggle so far.
There is a lot of commercial development, maybe not in Fort Myers Beach, but in some of the outlying areas and stuff. You are seeing some.
I mean, the entire area, and Cape Coral, for one thing, they got hit pretty hard by these storms, and they've got a lot of redevelopment going on right now. You got the Yacht Club, which was originally built in the 70s, so that all got torn down. You're going to have a whole entire new place there with a little beach. You're going to have the boathouse coming back, so you have restaurants and stuff. You have a little marina and a whole bunch of other things there, and that's just one little place in Cape Coral. And then You got the Seven Islands project going up in the Northwest. You've got another big town center they're about to build up in the Northwest Cape as well. So right now everything's kind of in the South Cape, but in the North Cape there's a lot of stuff happening, and that's kind of where you're going to find your entry level pricing up there, because the southern part of Cape Coral is built out for the most part. You can still find lots, but in the Northwest there's a lot of lots available, and everything's new construction out there, so everything's pretty new, and that's just it's a good market there. And there's a lot of stuff going on there. You got a lot of stuff going in Estero. I think they've got about $500 million worth of development going on there, and that's just a small little town in between Bonita Springs and Fort Myers. You got a lot of stuff going on in Fort Myers too. You got apartments popping up everywhere. You've got a lot of redevelopment happening downtown. A lot of things being proposed. You've got the Midtown project too that they're trying to pump a bunch of money in down there. So 5 years from now, this place is going to look a heck of a lot different than it did 5 years ago. So you're going to be seeing a lot of things hopefully opened up by then with construction and all that, permitting and flood zones and getting the state permits and all that. That takes a year or two a lot of the time. And then to build, you're a couple years for a commercial project at the least to just build it. So we've got these things coming, and there's excitement about a lot of it. And of course there's some people that don't want development to happen because they don't want us to turn into the East Coast where everything's built out and tall and everything like that. But we're growing, and everything changes. The only thing that's constant in life is change. And I think we're doing it the right way, and there's the right kind of development happening. And there's plenty of projects that have not been approved, plenty of projects that people just didn't want. So I think really this place is getting ready to blow again.
Nice.
That's good. We were talking earlier, Bill, and how for years we would see like the migration from Dade and Broward and even Palm Beach up to Martin and St. Lucie County, and that's it's 2 hours north basically. But 2 hours now you can also you got more people looking west, and I think it's, that's an exciting prospect, the idea that affordability is 2 hours away. And the West Coast is a beautiful place. I mean, and the idea that it's a little bit sleepier is very attractive to some people. So,
yeah, and you got Naples just south of us too, which is like going crazy with their numbers and stuff like that. They're a mini Palm Beach basically. So, and that they're right across the alley from you guys. So
maybe they're 90 minutes from my house.
Yeah, exactly. So. I think that market's definitely getting more people. I don't work that market a lot, but I do go down there with buyers and stuff a lot of times. But from what I hear there's quite a few East Coasters buying property there as well.
And Tom, I mean, given that the market is what you described, I mean, how are you advising sellers to position their listings for success?
I mean, it's all about price. It really is. It's all about price. It doesn't matter what price point you're in. It's really all about price. You look at some of these high-end homes too, like I'm saying, a $5 million house right now that's for sale. I mean, you're just looking for the right buyer. And there's one guy, and some of these properties you're just going to get lucky on this year, and someone's going to want what they want and they're going to pay for it. The people that are paying premium dollar right now are on the new construction, because that's what people want with all these storms that happen. They want to know the elevation. They want to know, is it concrete block? Or is it hurricane windows and doors? They don't want to have to update all these homes themselves. They want it to come like that. I mean, even down in Naples too, it seems like the luxury and new construction market is holding its own right now. It's not depreciating like a lot of the rest of the market is.
Do you think that's because it's closer, like you were saying, to the southeast, like Miami-Dade area? Plus, you have all the Chicago people coming down to Naples, because that's everybody kind of knows always Naples. And there's somebody online, I just saw that this past week, Colin Coward. He's a sports guy. I remember he put something on Twitter saying, "I'm in downtown Naples. This is like downtown Chicago." He was making a reference to that. I guess Naples is kind of the new, kind of like you said, it's rivaling Palm Beach on the East Coast.
Yeah, I think the biggest listing in the country is down in Naples right now. It's like 220 million. It was on the market before, but it's like a point. It's like a peninsula. It's got a couple different houses on it, I believe. And then usually when something like that sells, everybody up in Fort Myers is like, "Oh, my property is worth so much more now." Well, it's a little bit of a drive away.
Right. How far is it from Fort Myers? It was about 30, 45 minutes?
Yeah, 30, 40 minutes. Not too bad at all.
And when Bill and I were talking about you, I mean, one thing that we definitely were impressed by was your kind of the way you've got a very polished social media presence, and you've got these really engaging videos and for properties and other things. And I mean, how did that kind of, did that just evolve, or was it an intentional thing? Hey, I really want to build this out. How did you get started with your social media, work?
Well, when I first started, all I did was post just listed just solds and stuff like that. I didn't do any video and stuff like that. And, I go to a lot of different conferences and real estate things, and they were all just pushing you to be on video as much as possible. I can show you the first video I ever did. It wasn't even a video, it was a story, and I had to retake it like 100 times, and I just looked like nervous and sweating and not talking how I do now. But it's just kind of was a natural progression to get into that. It's just, in this day and age, you got to kind of do it all. And a lot of people are on social media. In fact, I just got a buyer yesterday. They called me and he was like, I follow you on Instagram. I've been following you for about a year, and never talked to him until a couple days ago. And I took him out to show some property the other day. So like you get like really good, you get some weird people every once in a while, but you get good people because they already kind of know you. It's like they're already your best friend because they've been watching all your video, and you're just like, how do you know stuff about me and watch your videos and stuff like that. And my goal was never really to go viral. It's just, you just want to get the right people to see it. A lot of people will say too, you got 50 likes or you got 50 views. Well, imagine sitting in a conference room with 50 people in it.
Right.
That's great. Does a lot more than how long is it going to take me to call 50 people?
Right.
It's going to take me a long time. Nowhere near the amount that it took to make that video. You stay top of mind a lot. It's kind of hard to gauge like what comes from it and what doesn't. Because I hit them with every angle. We do the postcards and the print marketing and tons of open houses and all the typical stuff that you do. It just kind of, in my opinion, it kind of just has to all go together. But yeah, I mean, it's been great though. I mean, I love doing it. If I didn't love doing it, I probably wouldn't do it as much. But also too, it's not just the listings, but I also try to just update people with what's happening on Fort Myers Beach and new developments and things like that. I'm not trying to showboat and say, oh, I did this and I did this and I did all that. It's more of like, come with me, learn about Southwest Florida, learn about me, learn about the area and stuff like that. And that's really just all I'm really trying to do. The summertime and wintertime, I'm always out there walking the beach. I post a lot of sunsets all the time. I get a lot of people just looking at my sunset stuff all the time, and they turn into buyers.
Your content works.
You gotta diversify your content too.
Sure.
You can't just talk about real estate all day because people want to work with you, and then they want to know about you. They want to know what you like, what you do, things like that. I mean, it's a relationship business, so that's the goal there.
And you have to build their trust. And when I first started clicking on your stuff, started watching, I watched a handful of videos, and automatically I liked it. I could tell, like, oh, he's a likable guy. He's a knowledgeable guy. He's providing good information. He's not just talking about himself. He's talking about the area. And if I was relocating to the area, I would hire this person because like he's confident, he's comfortable, he's explaining, he's showing the area. So whenever I've seen your videos, I'm like, oh, it's really great content. I don't know if anybody's advising you, if you do it naturally, but it really comes across very well. And hats off to you because I've seen a lot of people do it. And people, it seems like a lot of realtors maybe just don't do it consistently, and then they fall off. But it seems you're pretty consistent with it for the most part. I mean, how often do you post videos, by the way?
I've been slacking a little bit lately, but I usually do 3 or 4 a week, depending on if I'm getting listings or not. And kind of strategies switch back and forth. Sometimes you want to post a ton of content, and sometimes it's like you want to go a little bit more quality over quantity sometimes. And I'm kind of more on the quality over quantity point in my social media right now.
So what are you doing here?
You got to cover a lot of bases. You got to throw a lot of stuff against the wall.
Yeah. No. Do you track the different sites? One is one app better working for you than others? How do you look at those?
I focus more on Instagram because I know it the best, but the good thing about Instagram is that I make everything go to Facebook, so whatever I'm posting on Instagram is going on Facebook between my stories and my posts. Because most of my audience is actually on Facebook, because most of my clients are going to be 50 plus, so a lot of them are on Facebook. So that's where I get a lot of stuff from. Actually, a lot of the views come from Facebook. Kind of trying to get back into YouTube a little bit more, doing a little bit more long form listing videos, and then also long form informational videos too. So that's probably my next step there. But everything goes on TikTok too. So
That was my next question. I was going to say, have you tried TikTok?
yeah, and it's funny because sometimes one will go, you get a ton of views on Instagram and you get nothing on TikTok or vice versa. So it's kind of, I don't get too much in the analytics. I look at it and stuff like that, but I'm not like, I'm just posting. You just
Right.
don't worry about how it's doing. I mean, if you're spending a ton on production, you want to know how it's doing, but I feel like kind of more like the vlog style, the out and about, the unscripted is really what people want now because you have so many people doing the same videos and talking about the same things. And obviously interest rates is a very hot topic. But I mean, the consumer is probably sick of hearing about some people talking about, oh, they're the lowest they've been in 3 years. And now they're this and now they're that. And it's like kind of been this, we've been on the same road here for the past 2 years where everyone's like, oh, they'll be back, they'll be in the fives like in a few months. And it just hasn't happened yet. And as we're speaking, I think we're right around 6. So we are making headway. We are coming down. Like everybody always says, rates, when they take the escalator, they take the escalator down and the stairs up or vice versa.
Right, yeah.
So they don't change as much, on a daily or weekly basis. I think a lot of times I say, well, if you're not a buyer at 6.5, are you a buyer at 5.8? Probably not. I mean, it's not that big of a difference. So what you buy it for is important, and especially now. I mean, you're buying pretty much at the bottom floor right now.
Yeah, we normally on our weekly show we kind of give a quick rate update, what's trending, what's going on, but we don't really focus on that. And like you said, Tom, it's not like it's changing dramatically per day. People are saying they're going to wait till 3% comes around. Then you're probably never going to buy because that's more than likely never going to happen. Let's face it.
Right.
I mean, it's been for 24 years. Craig's been in 30 plus years. Craig. I mean,
Close.
yeah. I mean, 6% historically. If you look at the past 30 years, 6% is pretty damn good.
Well, I think too. I mean, you got the hometown heroes and a lot of different things that help the first-time home buyer, which is great. It's always good to see that stuff because it definitely helps the working class to be able to get into home ownership and start creating that wealth and all that.
Yeah, I mean, we did a podcast a couple weeks ago, the affordability factor, and really what the cost to you is if you don't buy. If you rent, you're losing out. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So we try not to focus on the rate either, but affordability is a big factor. We do talk about that. You had mentioned, or I'm not sure you mentioned, but I know you had said before, you have done a podcast. You tried that. Is that something that you're trying, or where are you with your podcast? Just out of curiosity.
I kind of put it on the back burner because I just got a little busy, but I want to try to bring it back probably here this summer, and kind of get that back off the ground. But it was called Everything Fort Myers Beach Podcast. So basically, I'll be interviewing not only just Fort Myers Beach people, but anything that affects Fort Myers Beach. Like there could be a development in town that has a waterfront restaurant that you can go to from Fort Myers Beach. So I try to keep it all focused on.
So it wasn't real estate centric. It was something kind of separate. Like I do an 80s podcast, by the way. So it was kind of a fun thing on the side type thing. But so what you were doing was kind of a Fort Myers Beach podcast, then I guess.
Yeah, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. You don't really know what you get off of it sometimes, but I understand the game. I mean, it's all about consistency. And I was at a conference one time. I forget who said it, but they said if you record 21 podcasts, you're automatically in the top 1% of podcasts in America. By just recording 21 episodes.
Craig,
so if you're there,
I knew it.
Because nobody makes it past that. A lot of people don't make it past that. Like I got probably 5 episodes in, so I got some work to do to get that back. But it's hard to do stuff during season because we're so busy, and somebody calls, you got to answer. They want to see a property in a few hours or the next day, or you don't answer your phone, they're calling the next realtor down the street, and you're missing out on business. Whereas the summertime slows down a little bit more. We're still busy though. I mean, our market is probably the slowest August, September, and probably now October. Probably a little storm related there. October is kind of when hurricane season starts to fizz out. So I fully understand that part. But July was a very strong month the last couple years here in our market because that's when you've got the people, the locals start coming out to look, and then your people that didn't buy during season are still looking at properties online. And they'll fly in. They won't have any traffic to deal with when they're going around showing property and things like that. So a lot of times you do get your serious buyers that will come back in that June and July and early August and start making purchases. And there's also some strategy behind that too, because August, September, October, obviously slowest months. December is pretty slow with the holidays. Great time to buy. a lot less competition. Depending on the days on market, it could be somebody who's just trying to get rid of their house.
Let me ask you, do you have an assistant or anyone else, or is it all you? We had a realtor on last week, and he had a team of, I think, 8 people total. Do you manage your own business and you work buyers and sellers?
Yeah, it's all me right now. I don't think that probably will change in the future here. But I do have a videographer that I work with that does all my listings. And then I have another group that does my kind of vlog style content and development updates and things like that, out and about content. I have a group that will do all that for me and edit it and stuff like that. But I still write the posts. I still am the one posting. I don't want to give that away, like a lot of people have. And I just don't feel like that's me as much. So I don't.
I was gonna ask you, Tom. One of your videos is a new construction property, I think, on the beach, and the video for it is really awesome. I mean, it's really well produced, and it's got aerial drone shots, and you know what I mean. There's a lot going on it. I mean, is that you outsource that to a company to kind of put that together, or is there a tool that you use, or there are tools
My
that you use? My
videographer does that. He does all the listing videos. He has a nice package where he shoots the photos and he shoots video and a bunch of other things. So yeah, it's all produced for me and ready to go. So yeah, I can't edit at all. In reality, I hope my guys aren't listening, but I really probably shouldn't even be paying for these other guys to be doing video, because I could do that all on my own, but it's more of a time thing so that I have it ready and I don't have to worry about editing. Because you can do update videos with green screens and all that on Instagram, which I probably should do a little bit more of that, because when you do use their features, sometimes they push it a little further.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But I pay them just because it's easy. It's easy. It comes edited. You say, hey, change this, and that. They change it in 24 hours. They get it back to me. I write the post. I post it. So I got a whole bank of content. That's usually how I operate. Is I got a bunch of videos that are just sitting there, and I plan them out a little bit, but I don't plan out the whole month or the whole week. Sometimes it just depends on what's happening that week and what's going on and all that. But I do have a goal to, try to post 3 to 4 videos a week.
So would you say, like, if there was an agent out there that's watching us, and we have realtors who watch us, kind of what we market, and what advice would you give to them to say, hey, if you haven't started this yet, what would be a good advice for them to start, to kind of help build a strong brand like you're building over on the West Coast there?
Well, the biggest thing, you just got to press record. You just got to get over your anxiety and fear and just press record. I mean, that's how I started. I'm not going to do this. Am I really going to do this? And then you just got to hit it and go.
Yeah.
And everybody starts somewhere, so you're not going to go viral. I mean, I don't even really go viral, but you want to be authentic. You want to be yourself. There's plenty of realtors that do all the same stuff and they don't differentiate themselves at all. So people want to work with you. It's a relationship business. They want to work with you. They want to know about you. They want to get to know you. They don't want to just see you're just listed, just sold. Even though it's good to do that, people still see that. But if that's all you're doing, it's just not going to work very well, because people aren't going to be able to know you. And I think the other biggest word of advice too would be, do not buy fake followers or fake engagement. Because there's so many realtors that do it, and it's so funny. They'll have 2,000 followers one day and 12,000 the next day, and then you look at who likes all their videos, and they're bragging about all these views that they get and all these likes. Then you look at who's liking it, and they're all bots. They're all bots. So
you can
because it will mess your account up. It is so easy to tell if you're going against me and you're talking about your social media profile and all that. I know if you have fake followers or not. So I like to keep it real, but it's an ego thing. I feel like too, you do all these videos and you keep seeing 4 or 5 or 6 or 700 views, and you're like, well, I want 20,000 views and I want to go viral and all this. Well, viral is not really going to help you a whole lot. It's the right people. If you go viral and the right people see it, great. But you just want the right people to see your content and they continue following you, and you'll gain some raving fans too that will just see how hard you work and just refer their friends and family to you. I've got a lot of people like that I've never done a home sale or purchase with them, but because they're not in the market for it yet, but they're giving my name out left and right to people.
And you said there, like, you want to get good views and good people watching you. So, I mean, do you measure that by just kind of going to look at your post and seeing who's making comments? Maybe you're saying, oh, I've seen kind of the same person, or I know these people comment, and that's how you can tell you're engaging, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, you look at that, and then You got to do stories too. I mean, stories is where the relationship is formed. Doing stories is where people usually reach out. They'll like
It's a story
something.
on Instagram, right? So
Yeah,
going like
story on
reel, you click
Instagram.
story and it goes to Facebook
Yeah,
as well.
that would go to Facebook as well. That's where you kind of build the relationship. You draw them in with the video, and then you build the relationship with the stories. Hopefully, they follow you and see what you're all about. They start liking your stuff, and a lot of people too just watch. They don't like, they don't comment, they don't do anything, but they watch,
Yeah.
and then they tell you that they saw your video, and you're like, well, why didn't
And
you like
for kind of an ignorant older guy, what's the story on Instagram? What is the story?
So they're like they disappear after 24 hours, and you can do as many as you want. I
Okay.
think it's not good to do like a million of them, but you should be doing five, at least five a day.
5 a day?
5 a day. Yep.
Wow.
So you do that? You currently do that?
Yeah. Maybe not every day. I have a couple late days here and here because sometimes you actually want to reset the algorithm by just letting everything go, and then if your views start falling off on stories, you'll want to just let them run out and then post again.
And so do you posting the same thing after? Because if it stays for 24 hours and it goes away, a week later you posting the same one, or it's
No,
always something
all
new?
different stuff. Like this morning, I was like putting my open house signs up. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna just walk out there and take a quick video of the beach.
So,
Take a
so the
little
So this
story.
is
So Craig, when you open up Facebook, these are the stories up here.
right, right. Yeah, that, I've seen that, but I didn't know the part about it's going to last for 24 hours, and so basically you're just you're recording while you're doing your stuff every day, and you're just talking out to everybody.
Yeah, and a lot of it may not even be me talking. It would just might be a video of the beach or the video of the open house that I'm at, or just the open house signs going on in the wind, just so people see I'm out here working.
That must help in the algorithms for your regular post because I used to post more years ago and I used to get tons of likes. And I managed a couple of groups on Neighbor Reunion, my high school reunion, et cetera, et cetera. And I never really got into the stories. But whenever I do post now, and if I have a closing this, I don't get as many likes as I used to. So I'm wondering if it's because I don't access or I don't use the stories feature.
Yeah, stories are huge. Anyone that's doing business off of social media will tell you that that's where the relationship is formed. It's not on your listing video. It's not on your informational video, although it does start there a lot of times. It's just, yeah.
And to confirm, you do the story, you launch it out of Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I know that it'll go into, 'cause I think I posted my first story like last week or something. I never do
Well,
it.
even like you just post a sunset and you put 75 degrees, and then one of my friends from Chicago would be like, oh, I'm jealous or something. So you keep your relationships there too. You build them there. Some of these real estate gurus will tell you, you got to call your clients every single Monday and talk to them. Well, like some of these people don't want to hear from you every week.
Yeah.
I mean, they really don't. I mean, yeah, sending them an email about, hey, here's what happened and the showings and the activity, yeah, that's one thing. But it's like you don't, especially with somebody that's not actively buying or selling, they don't want to hear from you every week and have some fake conversation like their family post on Facebook. Follow them, like their stuff, wish them a happy birthday on their birthday and stuff like that. They appreciate that. There's just
I
not
do that
being
for sure,
overly
yeah.
aggressive. I think, especially with people that are not really in the market for something right off the bat, I think is the way to build a very good relationship.
I'm gonna start launching stories, Craig. I gotta start. I want to try this because I've never really, and I'm active, but I'm not. I should be like most people, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll do funny stuff on there every once in a while. If an iguana stuck in the pool, I'll film that. Just stuff that shows you who you are. If you're a sports fan, post stuff about that and share some posts every once in a while.
It has to be either a picture or video, correct?
Yeah, picture or video.
Good stuff.
Good, interesting stuff.
Very cool. And
Yeah,
so,
what's really good right now is just you're in the car, you're just talking about your day, what happened, or something cool, or kind of what's happening in the market and stuff like that. I mean, it's good stuff. I mean, sometimes I've been at a lull with actual posting real content, and I'll keep everybody engaged with my stories still. Like that's one thing that I've been the most consistent with is probably stories over my probably about 10 years of doing social media.
that's a good one.
Very cool.
That's
So if you're not doing stories, start doing stories.
yeah. I'm definitely putting a star by that one because
And do you use any tools to kind of manage the posting on all these different
No,
sites or anything?
just me and my phone, really.
Okay. All right.
The great part is Instagram and Facebook being owned by the same company, and that whatever you do on Instagram just automatically goes on Facebook, so that takes care of that. And then, TikTok, I just post. I don't do stories on TikTok. I just do regular videos. But the important thing to do, especially if you're a realtor, is to put the location on your stories every time you do one, because that can show up on the map, and that's another way to get people kind of into your presence. Is they might see your cool sunset video on a story on Fort Myers Beach, and then they might start following you from there. And the algorithm affects that a little bit. There's been years where like you just don't get a lot of new people looking at stuff, and then there's other times where it's like, oh wow, there's a ton of new people that just looked at my story here.
But the stories are separate from your posting on your wall. You got to do both, right?
Yeah, and I think it's good. I mean, I post just listed and just solds, and I post houses along with my videos, just because I don't just want my face all over there, which is good to have your face all over there. But I like to have people be able to see the product that I'm selling and closing on.
Both. You got to do the story and the post, because the stories, it goes away 24 hours, whereas the post normally stays on your wall.
A lot of people will tell you don't ever post a just listed or just sold. Well, like, I get business from those actually.
Yeah, why
you gotta
would you
know
not do
that you're actually doing something. It's just how you make that post, I think, is the way you.
What would the rationale be about not posting those?
I just real estate gurus telling you that, I guess, because they probably want you to like do what they're telling you. Yeah.
Is there anything in the social media world that, maybe besides you kind of commented that maybe getting your podcast back going again, but anything else that you've been wanting to do but haven't really taken the plunge yet?
Well, I got another page that's associated with everything Fort Myers Beach podcast. It's just called Everything FMB. And it's just highlighting like the beach and the natural areas and like the sunsets. It doesn't have anything to do with development or real estate or building or anything. It's just the natural stuff that happens at Fort Myers Beach, birds flying around, Back Bay, sunsets, sunrises, all that kind of stuff. You might see a few buildings in some of the photos and videos, but it's really just kind of highlighting that aspect of Fort Myers Beach. There's a lot of people that don't realize how beautiful our beach is, because at Fort Myers Beach they think about bars and spring break and all that on the north end, where we actually really have a really beautiful beach here. The biggest draw to this beach is one of the most family-friendly beaches in America, because you've got very shallow Gulf waters. I mean, you can walk a couple 100 feet offshore on a really low tide and not even go up to thigh-deep water, and you could be on a sandbar 100 yards offshore almost. So they're not a lot of rip tide, there's no undertow. You can have your kids play by the shoreline and even in the water a little bit, because it doesn't get deep very fast.
Nice.
Fort Myers is a great beach. And on your, I want to wrap up one thing about your online stuff. Is there one story specifically, maybe a transaction you closed or something that you got through that, or maybe a challenge that you fixed or solved through your online presence, just out of curiosity?
Probably not like directly. I mean, I get a lot of my business from open houses. Like, that's where a lot of my big listings have come from. But they've also said like, hey, we met you at an open house, and then we started following you on social media, and we like what you're doing. So that's
kind of solidified you as an expert.
Yeah, when I'd say like everything kind of goes together, everything does kind of go together. You can't just be a social media guru and not do any of the other stuff, or just be an open house guru and don't do any of the other stuff, or just be a cold caller and don't do anything else. It's going to be tough.
Do you do an open house on every listing?
Some sellers don't like open houses because they know it's more for me and not for them.
Sure.
But I generally have at least a few spots that I can sit, especially with new construction. I mean, builders want you to sit there. I just make it my office, sit here all day.
Yeah. You're very great with the social media and so forth. Do you have any particular, like a contact database management system that you use to track all the people who are walking in your open houses and stuff?
We got a great new system at Kai's that just came off the ground a couple weeks ago. So I'm learning that and getting into that, and just really gonna step up my open house game and stuff there. We've got apps and everything that you can put on your iPad and things like that. But I will say, like, I'm not super aggressive with my Sphere or my CRM. I stay in touch with people, but I'm not calling you every day and that kind of stuff. I mean, I talk to you when I need to. You do have some needier clients that you have to talk to a little bit more, but I'm not like calling people till they die like I probably should sometimes. But I think people respect that, and there's enough people that are a little too aggressive with their business that they kind of can appreciate a little bit more laid back realtor.
Yeah, you definitely have that laid back appeal because you're the
Yeah.
beach guy.
Not laid back when we're dealing with contracts and closings
No, no,
and
no. I get you. I
like
get you.
that. But everything else, it's pretty laid back. We're a second home market. We're on island time half the time. Don't do a lot of appointments before 10 a.m. on the beach. So
Yeah. What's the in your 13 years? Like, if you were to give some advice to, let's say, starting out in the industry, is there like a one biggest lesson that you learned? Maybe you could say, hey, if you're starting out, do this, or maybe don't do that, or anything like. Is there something that stands out in your mind?
I was on a team for 13 years until before I came to Kai's, but I would fully 100% suggest joining some type of team where you can have some sort of mentor or someone to kind of work along with, at least for the short term until you kind of figure things out.
Yeah.
Because really, in real estate, you're always educating yourself. Things are always changing. I mean, I've been in it for 13 years. I don't know everything. I'm not never going to know everything because everything's changing. Everything keeps changing. And sometimes with younger agents, they're on the buy side, I'm on the list side, and sometimes I got to help them. Sometimes I got to help them get the deal done and coach them and stuff like that. Got a good group of realtors here where people mostly understand that and trying to get the deal done.
It's 2 weeks in a row that we talked about as a new real estate agent, the importance of having a good mentor. And I guess when new in anything, that would be helpful. I certainly had one getting into the business on the lending side, and so super, super, super important. So,
But I think the new realtors too, they're so great at social media. They grew up on that stuff. I mean, I'm young, but I didn't have a cell phone until I was probably 20 years old. So I didn't grow up with phones and iPads and all that. I'm probably the last generation to do that. But get out, do your social media, do your open houses. Those are the two biggest things because coming in, you don't have a ton of money to invest into postcards and marketing and stuff like that. So social media is free. Open houses are free. You may not have a listing, but ask people in your brokerage if you can set their listing, and just make a habit about it. Make a home. Go sit there a few times a week. Pick a neighborhood. Pick a little spot that you want to work in, and just be out there all the time. Your opportunity will come.
That's awesome. Great advice. Awesome.
yeah.
Listen, we really appreciate you having us having us host you on our show today. Great stuff. A lot of great information. I've learned some stuff myself. I'm going to be hitting some stories, I think, this week on social media. So
I'll be
that's
watching.
great stuff. Yeah, it's
So,
great stuff.
Tom, how does anybody get a hold of you? How do they find you?
So you can find me at Tom Kiddy, SWFL Realtor on Instagram, or my email is Tom Kiddy, SWFL Realtor at gmail.com. And then my phone number is 2.
We'll put all that in the notes on the episode too.
Yeah. But we got one last question, right, Craig? Craig's got his one question he always asks one of our guests.
Well, sure. So we'll just kind of keep it simple. So, Tom, I mean, just we've been talking about people getting to know you and everything like that. What is something that you enjoy spending your time doing that the people that you know on your social media, that people would be surprised to know, hey, Tom Kiddy is into this. Is there something?
Probably nothing that no one knows, but I do like to ruck the beach. So rucking is where you put like a backpack on with some weight in it and walk for a long period of time. So
Rock. It's called Rock the Beach.
Ruck.
Like a rucksack.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not a runner or anything like that, but if you follow me on social media, you'll see me out there with a backpack, walking on the beach, taking sunset photos and stuff like that.
How much weight's in the backpack?
Not too much, 30 pounds maybe.
Okay.
Sometimes 40, depending on how I feel that day. But it's good. It does a lot for you. And getting older, I don't like to run. Not that I'm old, but I'm 37. I don't run. I don't move like I used to. So it's just a low impact exercise that I like to do, and talk on the phone half the time while I'm out there, take sunset videos, or run in and hand my card out to people on the beach every once in a while, actually.
That's really cool. And you do that mostly during the time of sunset?
Yeah, I either do sunrise or sunset. And to be honest, I don't do it as much during the season just because there's so much traffic, but summertime, it's like an everyday thing.
Cool.
Awesome. It's a newer thing. I mean, I think people walking with the weighted vests and everything. And so very good. Very good. Well, this has been great, Tom. I appreciate the time, and this was a lot of fun. I learned some stuff. I know Bill said he did too, and we appreciate you being on.
Awesome. Well, it was my pleasure, and good talking with you guys today, and we'll do some business together soon.
Sounds
all right.
great.
Sounds great.
Hats off for all the information provided. Thank you again for coming on the podcast, and we'll be in touch soon.
All right.
Have a great day.
Take care. Bye.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, so hey, that was a great interview with Tom Kiddy in the southwest coast of Florida. Great guy.
Really good guy, and I thought he had some really good information. Certainly, I picked up some things, and I think that some valuable information there.
Oh, me too. I'm rethinking our whole social media presence. I mean, I got to do the stories, Craig. I know, like you had mentioned about that. I'm probably the same boat. I knew they were. I don't really watch stories, but I find a lot of people do. So it's something that he says you got to do that every day, and it's going to help your algorithm. It's going to help the rest of your posts. That makes sense.
It's interesting. I definitely gonna look into that.
Yeah, good stuff. So our mortgage rate update today, the Freddie Mac survey came out. Really not a whole lot of change. We're still hovering just slightly around that 6%, right above 6% rate. There's still Hometown Heroes funds available, by the way. As a matter of fact, I got a contract yesterday, and my buyer is going to be utilizing the Hometown Heroes. So I'm getting ready to send that out today. So good stuff. And the market's stable, right, Craig? I mean, that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big headline this week that the mortgage rates are the lowest that they've been since September of 2022. Rates are probably, this week, they've been pretty stable, even though we've had some interesting headline economic information come out. GDP came out, was worse than expected. Inflation, we had an inflation report came out, it's a little worse than expected. And then today was a bit of news. The Supreme Court overturned the Trump tariffs, which I would have thought would have caused a little bit more movement. But overall, everything is really stable. I mean, I mean, rates are better now than they were a month ago. Rates are better now than they were a year ago. It's been kind of nice and stable and lower generally, but nothing much.
Good stuff. I mean, listen, I hope it stays on this track. We're going to be launching into the spring home buying season here rather soon. So that's a great inventory. We've got some great inventory out there. And one of the things that Tom Kiddy had said, they're seeing some great buyers over there on the southwest coast of Florida. So very interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was super interesting about the affordability is a couple hours away. Just instead of north now, it's west.
Yeah.
So, so very, very interesting.
Great stuff. Great episode. Well, listen, you have a great weekend. Hats off to you, and we'll see you
at the closing table.
All right. See ya.
Thanks, bro.
All right, man.